Let's jump right in. All right, so let's get started with our first idiom. Idiom number 1 is a foot in the door. After me, a foot in the door. Excellent job. Now, a foot in the door just means gives people an opportunity to start doing something new, usually in an area that is difficult to succeed in. So, for example, let's say there was an individual that wanted to get a great job at a very high-paying bank in New York City. Well, if that individual went to the #1 finance university in America, he or she would have a foot in the door for that job because they went to an amazing school, and that gives them a better opportunity to get a good job. Kind of makes sense? We say a foot in the door. Now, let me show you some other examples that will help you understand how to use this idiom. First, my internship allowed me to get my foot in the door for my career. Now, this is a true statement. And at the end, during story time, I'll tell you the full story. Now, don't go anywhere. At the end, I'll tell you a story about this. So, having an internship helped this individual, me, get a better job. All right? We say get a foot in the door. Here we go. Example number 2. This isn't the job you hoped for, but it will help you get a foot in the door. Meaning, hey, the job you have right now, I know it's not what you want, but it's a stepping stone to the next job, the next level. So we say a foot in the door. Now, what about sentence number 3? I worked as a movie extra just to get my foot in the door. It gave this individual more opportunities to get better jobs, better acting jobs. Makes sense, right? Okay, so one more time after me. We have a foot in the door. Excellent. All right, now let's go to idiom number 2. Here we go. A shot in the dark. Excellent. One more time after me. A shot in the dark. Good job. Now, a shot in the dark just means an attempt that has very little chance for success. Now, let me tell you a quick story that will help you understand this. So, I am a woman. I look very young, though. I'm a woman that looks very young, but I'm a little older than you think. So one day I was hanging out with some friends, and there was a young man. He was very handsome, but he was in his 20s. Now, he assumed I was in my 20s. So he approached me and kind of made a pass at me. He was trying to say, hey, I'm interested. Now, here's the thing. I was not in my 20s. I was well in my 30s. So his attempt was a shot in the dark. There was no way he would succeed in dating me because he was too young. Makes sense, right? Again, it was a shot in the dark. There's very little chance for success. Honey, you're too young for me. That's the main idea. You get it? All right, so we say a shot in the dark. So let me tell you some example sentences. Here we go. You can look for your key on the beach, but that's a shot in the dark. Very hard to find your keys in the midst of all that sand. A shot in the dark. It's starting to make sense, right? Okay, let's go to sentence number 2. The figure he came up with was really a shot in the dark. Like, come on, that's not realistic. A shot in the dark. And finally, sentence number 3. It was a shot in the dark. I can't believe I was right. So this person thought that there were little chances of them being correct or succeeding, but oh my goodness, they were right. So in English, we say a shot in the dark. So one more time after me. A shot in the dark. Excellent. Now, a quiz is coming, so keep paying attention. I want you to ace the quiz. Here we go. Let's go to idiom number 3. Allow the dust to settle. After me. Allow the dust to settle. Excellent. Now you're probably wondering, teacher, what is this about dust? Let me explain. So allow the dust to settle means to allow a situation to become normal again. So this is what I want you to imagine right now. Close your eyes. Just listen to my voice. Imagine that there was a rug on the ground, and that rug was full of dust and dirt. So you go and you walk up to the rug and you pick it up and you shake it to get the dust out of the rug, right? Now what happens? The dust gets all in the air and now it's hard to see, and you have to pause and wait a minute for the dust to settle. You have to wait for the situation to become normal again. It makes sense, right? You kind of visualize now, oh yes, the dust in the air, you need to wait for it to leave the air. So the same idea goes for this idiom, allow the dust to settle. So let's look at some example sentences that will help you understand this a little bit more. First one, I'm going to allow the dust to settle before I try talking to her again. That means something happened, there was a challenge or an issue, and now things are a little bit strange, like that dust in the air, and you want things to go back to normal. Hey, I'm going to let the dust settle before I try talking to her again. Makes sense, right? You're seeing it now, even visually, right? All right, so let's check out sentence number 2. Here we go. My mom said I needed to allow the dust to settle before I ask my dad to adopt a dog. Makes sense. Ooh, wait a second. Let things go back to normal before you ask your dad for a dog. All right, here we go. Sentence number 3. She waited for the dust to settle, then began to express her feelings to her fiance. Makes sense. Again, waiting until things go back to normal before you do something. In English, the idiom is allow the dust to settle. Make sense? Woo, you're smart. Here we go. Let's keep going to idiom number 4. So again, we had idiom number 3. Let's move on to idiom number 4. Here we go. Back against the wall. Wait a minute, teacher, what does that mean to have your back against the wall? Now, this means to be in a very bad situation or position. A very bad situation. So let me tell you really quickly when I had my back against the wall. You see, I've been teaching for a long time, but at the very beginning of my business, when I started, I didn't have any money. My credit card was maxed out. So my back was against the wall. I had to figure out how to bring in more money. Again, I had my back against the wall. I was in a bad situation. Makes sense, right? Maybe you've been in a bad situation. You had your back against the wall. Make sense? All right, let's check out some example sentences. Here we go. First, the lawsuit had him with his back against the wall. Make sense? All right, sentence number 2. We had our backs against the wall, but somehow we managed to win the game. Makes sense, right? All right, here we go. Now again, all of these examples you can find if you go to my website, speakenglishwithtiffani.com, and go to the section that has the YouTube lessons. So don't worry, you can see all of these example sentences. Here we go. I was in a foreign country without a phone, and my back was against the wall. It makes sense, right? That's a horrible situation to be in. Overseas in a foreign country, without a phone, your back will be against the wall. Make sense? Oh, you're smart. All right, now let's go to our next idiom. Here we go. Let's go to idiom number 5. Remember, your quiz is coming up, so I hope you are paying attention. Here we go. Idiom number 5, barking up the wrong tree. Good. One more time after me. Barking up the wrong tree. Excellent. Now, this just means to pursue, To move forward on a mistaken line of thought or course of action. It's like, oh, I don't think that's the way you want to go, or oh, I don't think that's the direction we're trying to go in. You are barking up the wrong tree. All right, now again, these idioms, oh my goodness, we use them all the time. So I get excited because I want you to sound more like a native English speaker. So here we go. Let's look at some example sentences. Sentence number 1. If he thinks I'm paying for him, he's barking up the wrong tree. Now, this is something that a woman can say on the first date. You know, they go out to dinner, candlelight, beautiful restaurant, the meal comes, oh, it looks delicious. And when the meal is over, the bill comes and the guy looks at her and she looks at the guy and she says, oh, he thinks I'm paying for him. No, he's barking up the wrong tree. Makes sense, right? Ooh, that's the wrong train of thought. That's the wrong idea, buddy. We say barking up the wrong tree. All right, I think some ladies understood that one. Here we go. Sentence number 2. She's barking up the wrong tree if she thinks that will solve the problem. She has the wrong idea. That's not going to solve anything. She's barking up the wrong tree. Makes sense, right? I know you're taking notes and I'm so proud of you. Here we go. Last example sentence. The investors kept barking up the wrong tree. Hey guys, come on. This is not the right direction. You guys are barking up the wrong tree. Makes sense, right? Again, barking up the wrong tree. All right. Now, real quick, before we have our quiz, I want to go over them real quick before our quiz. I want you to ace the quiz. Foot in the door, giving an opportunity. Number 2, shot in the dark, an attempt that has little chance of success. Number 3, allow the dust to settle. Remember that one? Let things go back to normal. Number 4, back against the wall, to be in a very bad situation. And number 5, barking up the wrong tree. Hey, that's a mistake. That's not the right way to think. Are you ready? It's time for your quiz. Now, you are going to have 5 seconds for each question. I hope you're ready. I'm going to give you the question. You need to fill in the blank with the correct idiom. Remember, you've learned them. You know them. You can sound like a native English speaker. Here we go. Question number 1. You have 5 seconds. Here we go. She doesn't like guys with long hair, so I think you may be... Time starts now. Time. All right. What's the answer? Come on, you know it. What's the answer? Yes, barking up the wrong tree. Excellent job. Very good. All right, now let's go to question number 2. Again, you have 5 seconds. Here we go. Question number 2. Her blank. After she lost her biggest client. Woo! Her blank. After she lost her biggest client. This one is tricky. You ready? Here we go. 5 seconds. Time. All right. What's the answer? This one was tricky. Her, yes, back was against the wall after she lost her biggest client. Excellent. All right, here we go. Number 3. Now remember, you have 5 seconds. My mother was furious, so I decided to, before I asked for a new phone. What idiom goes here? Which idiom did we learn that matches this one? 5 seconds. Here we go. Time. All right, what's the answer? Come on, I know you know it. What's the answer? Yes, allow the dust to settle. Excellent job. Here we go. Question number 4. The project was hopeless, so his suggestion was really... 5 seconds. Here we go. Time. All right, what's the answer? Come on, I know you know it. A shot in the dark. Excellent. Very good. Man, you learned these idioms So fast. All right, here we go. And number 5. Last one. Ooh. I think this conference will really help you get your 5 seconds. Here we go. 5 seconds. Time. What's the answer? Yes, your foot in the door. Man, you are awesome. Excellent job. You did such an amazing job. So again, today you learned 5 new English idioms that will help you sound more like a native English speaker. A foot in the door, a shot in the dark, allow the dust to settle, barking up the wrong tree, and back against the wall. Now remember, if you want to learn even more English idioms and sound like a native English speaker, remember to get this book right here. I created this ebook just for you. 100 English idioms. Download your copy. Get your copy now by going to the link in the description. Trust me, you are going to love it. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope you learned these idioms and use them. I love being your teacher and I can't wait to see you next time. But as always, remember to speak English. Let's jump right in. All right, our first English idiom is be in a tight spot. I want you to repeat it after me for pronunciation practice. Be in a tight spot. Excellent, very good. Now this idiom is very commonly used and it just means to be in a difficult situation. I want to explain it to you. Think about tight. When something is really tight, think about when you were a kid, right? And your mom would buy clothes for you that were a little bit too small. You'd put on the shirt, but you just felt restricted, like you could not move. It was very difficult for you to move because the clothes were too tight. Well, the same idea applies to this idiom. Being in a difficult situation or being in a tight spot. Now let's look at an example sentence. Here's the first example sentence. You have put me in a tight spot. I think I need to let you go. Hey, you've made my situation very difficult and I think I'm going to have to let you go. Imagine you were a manager or a boss and you were speaking to your employee that did something really bad for the company and the company was negatively affected. That's a difficult situation. You are in a tight spot. So you have to let him or her go. Makes sense, right? Okay, let's look at the second sentence using this idiom. Her divorce put her in a tight spot, but she is doing better now. I want you to think about this. Divorce is never a good situation for people. Even when two people decide mutually to divorce, there are lots of difficulties that come up after that divorce. Financial difficulties, dealing with the children, who's going to have custody, lots of difficult situations, and many of them relate to finances. You go from a 2-person household with income, 2-income household, to now 1 income, only 1 salary. So that's a very difficult situation. You've put me in a tight spot. The divorce put her in a tight spot. Make sense? All right, now what about this example sentence right here? Jeremy put me in a tight spot, a difficult situation, when he brought up the bankruptcy in front of everyone. Oh my goodness. It was a very difficult situation. Put him in a tight spot. All right, so one more time after me. Be in a tight spot. Excellent, very good. Now the next English idiom that will really help you out is this one right here. Be off the mark. Be off the mark. After me. Be off the mark. Excellent. Now this just means not achieving the desired result due to inaccuracy. I want to show you this visually. I want you to think about a goal maybe a goal that you have in your life. Your goal is what? To speak English fluently, right? And maybe your goal is to do that within this year or maybe next year. That is your goal. So I want you to imagine, I have my marker. I'm going to get a sheet of paper. And I want you to imagine that this sheet of paper, I'm going to write down your goal in the middle. Speak English fluently. That is your goal. That is your target. And your target is right in the center of this paper right here. You see that? Speak English fluently. That is your target. However, you miss your target and you're not able to speak English fluently just yet. Keep watching these lessons. You are off the mark. You did not hit the target. That can happen in business or in other aspects of life. So let's look at an example sentence. Again, being off the mark means not achieving the desired result. Here's a first example sentence. I was really off the mark on my exams. So think about it. Your exams, your tests, maybe you want to get an A. You want an A plus. But instead of an A plus on your test, you get a B minus. So in this situation, your goal was to get an A plus, but you got a B minus. You were off the mark. You caught it, right? Excellent. Now, the second example sentence. His efforts were off the mark. She was too hysteric to console. She couldn't comfort him. His efforts were off the mark. He made an effort, but she was too hysterical. He could not actually comfort her. Off the mark. His goal, comfort, but he was not able to. Off the mark. All right, what about this third example sentence? The weather forecast was really off the mark today. They said it was going to be a really hot day today, but instead it was really brisk outside, really cold. The weather forecast was really off the mark today. Makes sense, right? Okay, excellent. So one more time after me. Be off the mark. Excellent. Now, this third example idiom is very, very important. The idiom is bend over backwards. One more time after me. Bend over backwards. Excellent. I want you to think about this. Bending over is not difficult, but bending backwards can be a little bit challenging. This idiom actually means to work extra hard in an effort to make someone happy. I want you to be happy. I want you to achieve your goals. I'm working hard. I'm actually bending over backwards to make sure you achieve your English goals. Makes sense, right? Okay, excellent. Now I want us to look at the first example sentence. Here we go. Jamie's husband constantly bends over backwards for her. He's trying to make an extra effort to make his wife happy. Bend over backwards. You see how useful this idiom actually is. Next, I bent over backwards for that guy, and he still treats me poorly. You went over, up, above, and over all that you had to do. You worked extra hard to make him happy, but he still treats you poorly. We say bend over backwards. And the third one, I only bend over backwards for my family. I only make an extra effort for my family to make them happy. Again, I only bend over backwards for my family. Now, I want to talk to you about something really quickly because this idiom is so important. Again, bending over backwards. You all know that I bend over backwards to help you achieve all of your English goals. But actually, the sponsor of today's video also bends over backwards for you each and every day. Cambly, right here. I want to thank Cambly so much for sponsoring this video. You see, Cambly offers English tutors to English learners like you around the world. They offer English tutors from America, Canada, Australia, and the UK, and they are available 24/7. every day, every time of day, every week for you. They are bending over backwards because they want to help you achieve your goals. Now, you all know how much I love Cambly because Cambly wants to help you by giving you a free 10-minute lesson. They want to help you reach your goal. They want to help you finally speak English fluently. And they said, Tiffani, we want your students to get an opportunity to practice with an English tutor, an amazing English tutor. Now, if you're really serious about truly taking your English to the next level, they have a 40% off any 12-month plan coupon just for you. Now, the link is in the description. Again, remember, Cambly has English tutors that bend over backwards to help you reach your English goals. Cambly, thank you so much. I want to encourage everyone to click that link in the description and get your English tutor today and start speaking English fluently. Thanks again, Cambly. All right, guys, let's jump back into the lesson. Remember, hit the link in the description. Now, our fourth English idiom is right here. Bite off more than you can chew. Again, bite off more than you can chew. Excellent. Very good. Now, this just means to make a commitment you cannot fulfill. To make a commitment, a promise that you cannot fulfill. I want you to think about a big sandwich, right? Maybe you like burgers, right? And there's a huge burger and you want to eat this burger. So you go to take a bite, but you're not able to eat this entire burger, but you try to stuff it in your mouth and then you're not able to talk. You've bitten off more than you can chew, and your commitment was to eat the whole thing, but you're not able to. So in the idiom, it's the same. Taking on a commitment, making a promise that you cannot fulfill. So I'm actually kind of hungry now. Here we go. Here's the first example sentence. I think I bit off more than I can chew with this new job. I thought I could handle it, but whoo, there's too much responsibility. I really bit off more than I could chew. Make sense? All right, now the second example sentence is, I need to expand to build my company, but I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I don't want to make a commitment that I cannot fulfill. Bite off more than I can chew. Don't forget that big burger, all right? And the third example sentence is right here. He is about to bite off more than he can chew by marrying Sabrina. She's a wild one. Now, I'll say it again. She's a wild one just means, whoo, she's a little bit much for him to handle. She's a little wild. She's a little excited and a little bit too much. So again, he is about to bite off more than he can chew by marrying Sabrina. She's a wild one. He's trying to commit to her, but I don't know if he's going to stay in this marriage. Bite off more than you can chew. All right, last time after me. Bite off more than you can chew. Excellent. All right, now the fifth idiom you must know. This idiom is bitter pill to swallow. Bitter pill to swallow. Excellent. Think of a pill. You know, you have to take a pill as medicine and you swallow it, right? Usually pills are small, right? Not huge because they're too difficult to swallow when they're big. So doctors and companies make them small. Now, a bitter pill means when you actually take the pill in, oh my goodness, I can't take this pill. It's difficult. The meaning is an unpleasant happening that is difficult to endure, an unpleasant situation that is difficult to proceed forward in, difficult to endure. So let's look at an example sentence. Here we go, the first one. Moving away from family, this situation was a bitter pill to swallow. Unpleasant, not something that you would like to do. I don't want to move away from my family. I'll miss them. A bitter pill to swallow. Very difficult. I don't want to accept this. Bitter pill to swallow. Next, the pandemic is a bitter pill to swallow, but we will overcome this. It's not something that you like. It's not something that you enjoy. It's unpleasant. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And finally, this one. Failing the bar exam again was a bitter pill to swallow, but I will make sure I pass next time. Again, I wanted to pass the bar exam to become a lawyer, but I didn't. And that was unpleasant, but I had to accept it. It was a bitter pill to swallow. Makes sense, right? So again, after me, bitter pill to swallow. Excellent. Very good job. Now you know what time it is. It's time for your quiz. I want to see how much you remember out of these 5 idioms. Here's question number 1, and I'm going to start the timer after I read it. The pandemic is but we will overcome this. 5 seconds. Time. What's the answer? Excellent. The pandemic is a bitter pill to swallow, but we will overcome this. Excellent job. Very good. What about this second quiz question? I know you can do it. Jeremy, ... when he brought up the bankruptcy in front of everyone. 5 seconds. Time. What's the answer? Come on. Yes, put me in a difficult spot. Excellent job. Now, what about this question right here? Question number 3. I need to expand my company, but I don't want to. 5 seconds starting now. Time. I gave you an extra second. What's the answer? I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. Excellent. You're so smart. Now, what about this 4th question, the 4th quiz question? The weather forecast was really ... today. 5 seconds. Time. I gave you another extra second. What's the answer? Yes, off the mark, not accurate. Excellent. And what about question number 5? I ... for that guy and he still treats me poorly. 5 seconds. Here we go. Time. What's the answer? Excellent. I bent over backwards for that guy and he still treats me poorly. Excellent job. You are amazing. Today you learned 5 English idioms that you must know in order to finally sound like a native English speaker. I hope you understood them. I hope you enjoyed them, and I hope you use them today. Don't forget to click the link in the description because Cambly tutors are waiting to bend over backwards to help you reach your English goals. Hit that link in the description and I will see you next time. Let's jump right in. Here we go. Idiom number 1. To come to a head. Good, after me. To come to a head. Excellent. Last time after me. To come to a head. Great job. Now this just means to reach a crisis. So think about it like this. Imagine there was a man and a woman. They fell in love and they decided to get married. And in the very beginning, everything was wonderful. They were happy every day. They woke up smiling, but suddenly things started to change. They started to argue more. They started to avoid each other, and they started to really hate each other. But you see, when the wife found out that her husband had cheated on her, things came to a head. They argued, they fought, and she said, I want a divorce. Things came to a head when she found out that her husband had cheated on her. You caught it, right? Okay, again, reached a crisis. She mentioned divorce. So let me give you an example sentence. Here we go. Things haven't been good between us for a while, and this incident made everything come to a head. Just like in this story with the husband and wife, things came to a head. Here's another example sentence. The situation finally came to a head when she failed to show up to school, reached a crisis. And sentence number 3. A situation came to a head when the workers went out on strike. When the workers went out on strike, it reached the crisis level. In English, we say to come to a head. Makes sense, right? Again, try to use the idiom today at least one time. Here we go. Now, idiom number 2, turn a deaf ear. Now, after me, turn a deaf ear. Excellent. Again, turn a deaf ear. Good job. Now, this just means to refuse to listen or respond to a statement or request. In English, we say turn a deaf ear. Think about it like this. There's a story that is told to children, and the story is called The Boy That Cried Wolf. Now, in the story, this little boy, every day he would say, "There's a wolf coming, there's a wolf coming." And everyone in the village where he lived would get scared and say, "Oh no, save the sheep, save the animals." And then they would hear the little boy laughing. Just kidding. He was lying. And the boy continued to do this day after day after day. So after a while, the people of the village realized that the boy was just lying, until one day a wolf actually did come. The wolf was attacking the sheep, and the little boy ran to the town and said, "A wolf! There's a wolf! He's attacking the sheep!" But instead of listening to him, all of the townspeople turned a deaf ear to the little boy's warnings. Why? Because he had lied so many times before, they refused to listen this time. Makes sense, right? So let me give you another example sentence that will help you understand this idiom even more. Here we go. He turned a deaf ear to all appeals. He turned a deaf ear. Remember, deaf means someone who is unable to hear. So turning a deaf ear means you're not going to listen. Next, the factory owners turned a deaf ear to the demands of the workers. They didn't want to listen. Sentence number 3. She turned a deaf ear to her husband's advice and took the job anyway. She didn't listen to her husband. She turned a deaf ear to. So again, this idiom number 2, you must understand this idiom, to turn a deaf ear. Now let's move on to idiom number 3. Idiom number 3 is turn the clock back. Turn the clock back. Now, this just means to return to a situation that used to exist. To turn to a situation that used to exist. And now, to give you an example so that you can understand this better, I am about to be 40 years old. And I still feel good, but I don't feel as good as I did when I was in my 20s. And I remember being in my 20s, I used to run 5 miles a day. I remember getting on the treadmill and just running for an hour like it was nothing. I could talk to people while watching TV. Everything was good. I was able to do it because I was in good shape. Now, I'm in good shape now, but not like when I was in my 20s. So sometimes I would like to turn the clock back to have my 20-year-old body back. You got it, right? Maybe you've experienced the same thing. You remember when you were in high school or college and you're like, man, whoo, now every once in a while you have a cough. Maybe your head hurts. Maybe your body aches. Things aren't like they used to be. But if you could just go back in time when you were younger and turn the clock back. You got it, right? Again, to return to a situation that used to exist. So let's check out the first example sentence. In some ways, we wish we could turn the clock back for a moment, just for a moment, to go back in time. Next sentence. If I could turn the clock back and do things differently, I would. Think about a situation that happened in your past and you regret what you did or what you said. You, in that situation, you would wish to turn the clock back and you change what you did or what you said. And sentence number 3. I wish I could turn the clock back to when I was a kid and didn't have any responsibilities. No bills, nothing to worry about. Turn the clock back. Makes sense, right? All right, now let's get into idiom number 4. But before I tell you idiom number 4, again, I want to help you improve your English. So if you want daily English lessons, all you have to do is go to dailyenglish.lessons.com. I'm teaching you important idioms right now, but if you follow the plan I offer you and so many students at dailyenglish.lessons.com, you'll learn even more idioms and improve your English. So again, go to www.dailyenglish.lessons.com. Now, idiom number 4. Idiom number 4 is twist someone's arm. Say it after me. Twist someone's arm. Excellent. Last time after me. Twist someone's arm. Great job. Now, this just means to persuade someone to do something that they are or might be reluctant to do. We say you're twisting their arm. Now, sometimes parents, right, when they want their children to do their homework, the children complain, I don't want to do my homework. I just want to watch TV or I want to play on my phone. They don't want to do their homework. So sometimes parents have to twist their children's arms. Listen, if you do your homework, I'll buy you ice cream. Now, this is not my method, but sometimes parents do this. They have to twist their child's arm. Again, persuade them to do something. It's not a physical twisting, but this idiom just means to persuade someone to do something. Like a parent may try to persuade his or her child to do something. Here's an example sentence right here. The first example sentence is, I've twisted his arm and he'll get you some tickets. I did it. He's going to do it for you now. I've twisted his arm. Next, my wife really, she really had to twist my arm to get me to apologize to my boss. I didn't want to do it, but my wife twisted my arm to get me to apologize to my boss. Number 3, I wasn't going to come, but George, he twisted my arm. You get it, right? I'm showing you through body language and my facial expressions how we use this in real life because I want you to use it as well. Again, twist someone's arm. Now let's check out idiom number 5, another important one. Wear several hats. Good. Again, wear several hats. Excellent. Last time. Wear several hats. Good job. Now, this just means to have many jobs or roles. Again, to have many jobs or roles. And this reminds me of when I lived in South Korea. Again, I lived there for about 10 years. I was a missionary English teacher. Loved it. Loved my students. I loved it a lot. Now, when I was there, initially I was just a teacher. But as time went on, I was asked to be a manager. So I was an English teacher and then I was a manager. Now, as a manager, I had to manage the teachers. I had to give them duties and give them tasks. And then I was also studying Korean. So as a Korean learner, sometimes I had to be in charge of my group, my study group. So I was a teacher, I was a manager, and also I was a group leader. I was wearing many hats. I had many different responsibilities. You caught it, right? Again, wear several hats. You can also say wear many hats. Now, here's the first example sentence I want you to take a look at. The first one is, our editorial assistant left the company. So I've been wearing several hats, many different duties or responsibilities. Sentence number 2, I work from home. So I'm able to wear several hats. I'm able to do many different things. And sentence number 3, after he left, She had to wear several hats. Again, she had to do many different things. In English, we say wear several hats. Makes sense, right? Now, I really hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Remember, use the idioms you learned today. They will help you sound more like a native English speaker. Now, I'll talk to you next time, but as always, remember to speak English. Let's jump right in. The very first English idiom is be in a tight spot. Again, be in a tight spot. Excellent. Now, this just means to be in a difficult situation. So I want you to think about it like this. Imagine you had a shirt, your favorite shirt, and every time you wore this shirt, you felt good about yourself, but all of a sudden, you started gaining weight. So when you go to put on the shirt that you love so much, all of a sudden, it's a little tight. It's difficult to get the shirt on, and even more difficult to get the shirt off. Taking the shirt off requires extra energy. It's a difficult situation. That's why we say be in a tight spot. Makes sense, right? Again, a difficult situation. So let me give you some example sentences. Here's the very first one. You have put me in a tight spot, so I think I need to let you go. This is a very hard situation for me to be in. I can't really help you anymore. I need to let you go. You have put me in a tight spot, so I think I need to let you go. Sentence number 2. Her divorce put her in a tight spot, a difficult situation, but she is doing better now. Makes sense? And sentence number 3. Jeremy put me in a tight spot when he brought up the bankruptcy in front of everyone. I didn't want everyone to know about my bankruptcy, so I felt very awkward. It was a difficult situation when Jeremy told everyone, revealed, brought up my bankruptcy. Makes sense, right? Again, we say be in a tight spot. Now, idiom number 2 is also a very useful one. Idiom number 2 is be off the mark. Be off the mark. Once again, be off the mark. Excellent. Now, this one just means not achieving the desired result due to inaccuracy. Think about it. Maybe you took a test and you expected that you were going to get an A on the test, but then you receive your test results and instead of an A, you get a C. Wait a minute, that's not the expected result. You were off the mark. Again, not achieving the desired result due to inaccuracy. Here's the first example sentence. I was really off the mark on my exams. You got that one, right? Number 2, his efforts were off the mark. He didn't achieve the desired result. His efforts were off the mark. And finally, the weather forecast was really off the mark today. You know, the weather forecast said that, hey, it's going to be a sunny day, but it rained all day. The weather forecast was really off the mark today. Make sense? All right, let's move on to English idiom number 3. English idiom number 3 is bend over backward. Bend over backward. I want you to repeat after me. Bend over backward. Excellent. Now, this idiom just means to work extra hard in an effort to make someone happy. Again, you're going the extra mile. You're working extra hard in order to make someone happy. Now think about bending over backward. Oh, it's not really the easiest thing to do. You have to put a lot of effort in order to do it, right? It's just saying that you're working extra hard to help someone else out. In English, we say bend over backward. Now, check out this example sentence. Jamie's husband constantly bends over backward for her. He loves her so much, whatever she wants. Even though he comes home from work extremely tired, he will go right back out to get her some flowers, to get her the food that she wants. Why? Jamie's husband constantly bends over backward for her. He works extra hard. He works extra hard in an effort to make her happy. All right, sentence number 2. I bent over backward for that guy, and he still treats me poorly. I worked hard. I put in my best effort, and yet he still treats me poorly. Again, I bent over backward for that guy, and he still treats me poorly. And what about sentence number 3? I only bend over backward for family. I only put in an extra effort for my family. Once again, I only bend over backward for family. Makes sense, right? Okay, let's check out idiom number 4. Idiom number 4 is bite off more than you can chew. Bite off more than you can chew. I want you to repeat after me. Bite off more than you can chew. Excellent. Bite off more than you can chew. Now, this just means to make a commitment you cannot fulfill. You tell someone, hey, I got you. I'll make sure to complete all of the things you asked me to complete. And then you realize, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to do what I said. I bit off more than I can chew. To make a commitment you cannot fulfill. Hey, I'll record a video for you every single day. Wait a minute. I'm a little too busy to do that. I bit off more than I can chew. Makes sense? All right, let me give you an example sentence. Here we go. I think I bit off more than I can chew with this new job. I think I bit off more than I can chew with this new job. Next, I need to expand my company, but I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I want to get bigger, but I don't want to make a commitment that I cannot fulfill. I need to expand my company, but I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. And this one. He is about to bite off more than he can chew by marrying Sabrina. I don't think that's a wise decision. This might be a little bit much for him. He is about to bite off more than he can chew by marrying Sabrina. You got it, right? Okay, now let's move on to idiom number 5. Idiom number 5 is bitter pill to swallow. Bitter pill to swallow. After me, bitter pill to swallow. Excellent. Now, a bitter pill to swallow. This just means an unpleasant happening that is difficult to endure. Something that happens that it's hard for you to accept. It's hard for you to believe that this thing is happening to you. An unpleasant happening that is difficult to endure. It's not easy. A bitter pill to swallow. Now, let me give you an example sentence that will help you understand this idiom. Moving away from family was a bitter pill to swallow. It's so hard to move away from family. For example, you know I lived in South Korea. I lived there for almost 10 years. And during that time, I missed so many family events. It was a bitter pill to swallow. But now I'm home and I'm with my family, so I'm happy. But again, moving away from family was a bitter pill to swallow. You got it? Good. Next, we have this sentence. The pandemic is a bitter pill to swallow, but we will overcome this. Yes, you know about the pandemic that we experienced all around the world, right? With 2020 and the COVID pandemic. The pandemic is a bitter pill to swallow, but we will overcome this. Make sense? All right, and sentence number 3. Failing the bar exam yet again was a bitter pill to swallow. I failed again. I gave it my all, but I failed. Failing the bar exam yet again was a bitter pill to swallow. Make sense? All right, excellent. So now you know the 5 English idioms that you didn't know before, but now you can use them in real life. Now, I want to keep helping you, so if you want my free English newsletter, all you have to do is go to www.speakenglishwiththiffany.com/newsletter. Each week, I send out English tips and so much more to help you along your English journey. So remember to keep speaking English, keep studying hard, and I will see you in the next lesson. Let's jump right in. All right, English idiom number 1. Hit the road. Hit the road. Now this just means to start a journey. Again, to start a journey. So I want you to think about you and your family members or you and your friends. Maybe every summer you plan a trip and you decide to go to some beautiful location, and to get there you decide to drive your car. You say, come on guys, let's go, get your bags. We are going to hit the road. Again, start a journey. Makes sense, right? Right when you're about to go, you say, let's hit the road. Here's some example sentences. Here we go. Sentence number 1. We need to hit the road early if we want to make it to the beach before it gets crowded. Hey, listen, everybody goes to this beach because the weather is nice most of the year, but this beach, man, it just seems like the weather is just perfect whenever we go to this beach. The waves are perfect. Everything is great. So we need to get there early because everyone loves it. Let's hit the road. Let's start our journey early. Makes sense, right? All right, here we go. Sentence number 2. After a quick breakfast, we hit the road. We started on our journey to begin our trip across America. One more time. After a quick breakfast, we hit the road to begin our trip across America. Make sense? All right, here we go. Sentence number 3. It's time to hit the road and explore new cities. Hey, we have to get out and go. We need to explore new cities. We need to hit the road. Start our journey. Make sense? All right, again, idiom number 1, hit the road. I want you to start using it today. If you're watching this video, I want you in the comment section. I want you to use this idiom, make your own sentence using hit the road. Here we go. Idiom number 2, on the move. On the move. Now, this just means traveling from one place to another. Traveling from one place to another. Think about it. If I'm going from Maryland to New York to then Pittsburgh, I am moving from one place to another. I am traveling. I am on the move. Caught it, right? Check out this example sentence. Here we go. Sentence number 1. As a travel blogger, my friend is always on the move, going from place to place to place, from country to country. My friend is always on the move. And actually, this is a true statement. One of my good friends, she's a travel blogger, and she is always on the move. Good job. Here we go. Sentence number 2. We need to pack our bags quickly because we'll be on the move again this evening. Hey, we're going to be traveling from place to place. We need to pack our bags quickly. Make sense? All right, here we go. Next, we have sentence number 3. My friends are always on the move during the summer. They're always traveling from place to place. In English, we say on the move. You got it. Good. All right. Idiom number 3. Another great idiom. Number 3. Catch a ride. Catch a ride. Now, this just means to get a lift from someone or to go somewhere in someone else's car. To catch a ride. For example, I went on a trip, right? I went to Mexico last year. True story. I went to Mexico with some family and friends. Now, I was going to the airport and my best friend called me. She also went on the trip, but we were on different flights. She said, "Hey, Tiff, on the way back, can I catch a ride with you from the airport? We're going to arrive. We're flying into the same airport, but I need a ride. Can I catch a ride with you? Can I go back home with you in your car?" I said, "Sure thing." Again, catch a ride. You got it, right? Again, this idiom is very natural. You can use it and sound more like a native English speaker. So here we go. Sentence number 1. Hey, like my friend said, can I catch a ride with you to the airport or from the airport? Can I catch a ride with you to the airport? Sentence number 2. I don't have a car, so I'll have to catch a ride with one of my sisters. I'll have to ride with her to the destination. Sentence number 3. If you're going downtown in a few minutes, can I catch a ride with you? Can I go there with you? Can I ride in your car to that place, to that destination? Again, if you're going downtown in a few minutes, can I catch a ride with you? Make sense? All right, good. Now let's move on to idiom number 4. Another good one. Take off. Take off. Now this just means to leave a place, especially by plane. Again, to leave a place, especially by plane. We normally say this when we're referring to riding a plane and we're taking off. Again, leaving a place, especially by plane. For example, so I enjoy traveling, right? I travel a lot and I have to travel for work sometimes, right? If I'm traveling to either go to a seminar, to a conference, or to speak somewhere. So when I'm on a plane, the plane is sitting right on the ground. I normally have everything set up. I normally fall asleep before takeoff. It's true. When I get on a plane, it's like immediately my body says it's time to fall asleep. Great rest, right? So I normally fall asleep before we leave. Before we take off, I'm knocked out. I'm asleep. Makes sense, right? Maybe you're the same way. So here's an example sentence. We're scheduled to take off at 5 p.m. So please make sure you're at the airport on time. We're scheduled to take off at 5 p.m. Don't be late. Next sentence. The plane is about to take off, so please fasten your seatbelts at this time. We're about to take off, so I need you all to please fasten your seatbelts. And finally, sentence number 3. I'm excited to take off on my first international flight and explore a new culture. I'm sitting on the plane. I can't wait for the plane to take off. Once again, I'm excited to take off on my first international flight and explore a new culture. You got it? All right, good. Now we have one more English idiom, but before I tell you the idiom, I want to remind you, I have a free English newsletter. Every week, 3 times a week, I send out a new English resource, a new English lesson via email with tips and tricks and sometimes some coupons for you and special offers. So if you want to get my free English newsletter via email, all you have to do is hit the link in the comment section or in the description, or you can go to speakenglishwithtiffani.com/newsletter. I would love to continue helping you throughout the week. All right. So here we go. The final idiom, idiom number 5, road trip. Again, road trip. And it literally just means a long journey made by car. Again, in English, we say road trip. I love road trips. Again, going somewhere by car, listening to music, having long conversations with your friends, stopping at rest stops, getting good food. It's an amazing experience. Road trip. My dream is to go on a road trip across America. America's a huge country, and I would love to go on a road trip with friends across America. In English, we say road trip. Make sense? All right, good. Now here's the first example sentence. We're planning a road trip to visit all the national parks. You got it? All right, here. Next sentence. Our family loves taking road trips during the summer and discovering new places. Again, a long journey made by car. And finally, sentence number 3. I'm looking forward to our road trip to the beach next month. Ooh, I can't wait to go on this journey to the beach next month with my family and friends. I'm looking forward to our road trip to the beach next month. You got it? Excellent. All right, so you learned 5 new English idioms. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget, if you want more lessons from me sent via email for free, go to www.speakenglishwithtiffani.com/newsletter, and I'll start sending them to you today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson. Let's jump right in. Idiom number 1. Light a fire under someone. Once again, after me. Light a fire under someone. Excellent. Now, this is a very interesting idiom. This idiom literally just means to motivate or inspire someone to take action. For example, I want you to imagine a child that has a lot of homework, but the child only wants to play video games or watch movies. The child does not want to do his homework. This little boy keeps saying, "No, I don't want to do my homework." And then his father walks into the room and lights a fire under him and says, "Listen, if you don't finish your homework, you won't be able to go with us to Disney World." Immediately, the boy starts doing his homework. Why? His father lit a fire under him. You got it, right? Again, it just means to motivate or inspire someone to take action. The little boy didn't want to miss out on the trip to Disney World. Okay, check out these example sentences using this idiom. Here we go. Sentence number 1. The coach's halftime speech lit a fire under the team and they won the game. They were inspired, they were motivated, so they won the game. Next, sentence number 2. The deadline for the project is approaching. We need to light a fire under the team. We need to inspire the team, to motivate the team. Why? Because the deadline for the project is approaching. Make sense? Good job. And sentence number 3. The inspiring story of the successful entrepreneur lit a fire for aspiring business owners. This has happened to me before. Reading a story about an amazing entrepreneur or watching a documentary about an amazing entrepreneur actually inspired me, motivated me to keep pushing forward, to keep working hard to build this business for you. So again, the inspiring story of the successful entrepreneur lit a fire for aspiring business owners. You got it? Excellent. So again, light a fire under someone. Now we have 4 more amazing idioms that you must know, but I want to remind you, after each lesson, you can practice what you've learned. That's right. Practice the idioms. Make sure you understand the example sentences. And all you have to do is download the English with Tiffani app. The link is in the description. And once you download the app, you're going to open it and you'll see the course section and you want to select weekly English fluency lessons with Teacher Tiffani. You'll see the list of YouTube lessons and you'll find the one for today, English idioms. And then you'll be able to either watch the video or go directly to the practice lessons. Now, these lessons are going to help you understand more of what you learned. You'll be quizzed to see if you're able to put the answers in order, organizing the sentences, and so much more. So again, you need to practice after this lesson. So download the English with Tiffani app, and the link is in the description. All right? Okay, let's move on to idiom number 2. Idiom number 2 is pull oneself up by the bootstraps. Once again, pull oneself up by the bootstraps. Good job. Now you're probably wondering, what in the world does this mean? So this idiom just means to improve one's situation through hard work and determination. To improve one's situation through hard work and determination. I watched a YouTube documentary about 3 weeks ago. It was about an individual that traveled to a certain part of India, and he was recording the individuals living in this area that was near a field. And these individuals, according to the caste system, were on the lower end of the caste system. But the gentleman that was recording the documentary spoke to another gentleman that used to be in the same community. But he pulled himself up by the bootstraps, went to school, got an education, and he was successful. And he decided to come back to his old environment, his old neighborhood, to help other people as well. This was a great story, a great documentary about pulling oneself up by the bootstraps. Again, improving one's situation through hard work and determination. Makes sense, right? Excellent. All right, let's check out some example sentences. Sentence number 1. After losing his job, he pulled himself up by the bootstraps and started his own business. He said, listen, I lost my job, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to start my own business. He pulled himself up by the bootstraps. Next, sentence number 2. She pulled herself up by the bootstraps and overcame the challenges of being a single mother. So you're seeing now how this idiom can be used in so many different ways. It can apply to so many different real life situations, right? All right, and sentence number 3. The athlete pulled himself up by the bootstraps and trained harder to win the championship. Makes sense? So again, pull oneself up by the bootstraps. It just means to improve one's situation through hard work and determination. You got it? Excellent, excellent. Let's move on to idiom number 3. Idiom number 3. Put one's nose to the grindstone. Again, put one's nose to the grindstone. All right. Now, this is a very good idiom for you to understand, one that you must actually know. So this just means to work hard and diligently on a task. We've been talking about idioms that relate to challenges, right? And this one is similar. Again, to work hard and diligently on a task. For example, I record English lessons for you to help you improve your English fluency. I also record English lessons for my students in my academy to help them improve their English fluency. So when I have to record, I have to put my nose to the grindstone. I have to work hard and diligently, focusing on the task at hand. Makes sense, right? Excellent, excellent. All right, so let's check out some example sentences. Here we go. The students put their noses to the grindstone and studied for the final exams. The students put their noses to the grindstone and studied for the final exams. Make sense? Excellent. Here we go. Sentence number 2. The writer put his nose to the grindstone and finished the book before the deadline. Once again, the writer put his nose to the grindstone and finished the book before the deadline. Finally, sentence number 3. The team put their noses to the grindstone. They worked hard and completed the project ahead of schedule. One more time. The team put their noses to the grindstone and completed the project ahead of schedule. You got it? Excellent. So again, idiom number 3 that you must know. put one's nose to the grindstone. Let's move on to idiom number 4, another great one. Bite the bullet. Bite the bullet. Now remember, we're talking about idioms that relate to challenging situations. So I want you to repeat after me before we go to the meaning. Bite the bullet. Good job. Now this just means to face a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage and determination. Think about a fireman. He or she, there are a lot of firewomen as well, have to fight fires in order to save people, biting the bullet, facing a difficult or unpleasant situation with courage and determination. Moving forward, even though it's hard. Check out this example sentence. She had to bite the bullet and tell her boss the truth about the mistake she made. Not easy, but she bit the bullet and she did it. Second, the athlete had to bite the bullet and play through the pain to help his team win. The athlete had to bite the bullet and play through the pain to help his team win. And finally, sentence 3. The company had to bite the bullet and make some tough decisions to stay afloat. The company had to bite the bullet and make some tough decisions to stay afloat. Not easy, but they had to bite the bullet. Makes sense, right? Again, idiom number 4, bite the bullet. All right, and now idiom number 5, another idiom you must know. Keep one's eye on the ball. After me, keep one's eye on the ball. Excellent. Now this just means to stay focused on the goal or objective. To stay focused on the goal or objective. For example, you know that my goal is to help 1 billion English learners around the world, including you, speak English with confidence. That is a huge goal. So in order for me to achieve that goal, I have to stay focused. I have to keep my eye on the ball, focused on my goal. You got it? Excellent. All right, here's the first example sentence. The project manager reminded the young man to keep his eye on the ball and not get distracted by minor issues. Stay focused, not to get distracted by minor issues. Sentence number 2. The athlete kept his eye on the ball and scored the winning goal. He was focused as he came down the court and he shot the ball. He was focused on the goal. He kept his eye on the ball. And finally, the entrepreneur kept her eye on the ball and achieved her business goals. Once again, the entrepreneur kept her eye on the ball and achieved her business goals. You got it? Once again, idiom number 5, keep one's eye on the ball. Now remember, these idioms are ones that you must know. They will help you speak English fluently and sound more like a native speaker. Your lesson has not ended. I want you right now to download the English with Tiffani app or open it and start practicing. This lesson has practices that go with it, practice lessons that go along with it. So download the app and start practicing, and you will master these must-know English idioms. All right, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I will talk to you next time, but as always, remember to speak English. Let's jump right in. The very first idiom you must know is ballpark figure. Once again, ballpark figure. Excellent. Now, this just refers to an approximate or a rough estimate. Think about this. You're in a meeting and you're discussing a project that you and your team are working on. Now, the exact budget for the project might be around $957,000.50. That's the exact amount. But the person up front speaking about the project could say, we need, let's say, I'll give you a ballpark figure of about $1 million. You see, a rough estimate or an approximate. Makes sense, right? This is a very commonly used idiom in the business environment. So let me give you some example sentences that will help you use this idiom. First, can you give me a ballpark figure of how much the project will cost? That's related to the example I gave you before, right? Check out this example sentence. The salesman gave me a ballpark figure, an estimate for the price of the car. So when you're going to get a car, they can give you a ballpark figure. And finally, this example sentence. We need a ballpark figure of the expenses before presenting the proposal. You got it? Good. So once again, ballpark figure. Excellent. Now, the second one is also very important. The second English idiom for the business environment is cut corners. Good. Again, after me. Cut corners. Great. Now, what you're noticing is that these idioms are made up of words that you've probably heard before. But when you put the words together, they take on an entirely different meaning. So, cut corners. It means to do something in a cheaper or quicker way, often sacrificing quality. So I want you to think about this situation. You want to get a home built. You want a home for your family, and you want it to be absolutely beautiful. But you also want the home to be safe. If there's a natural disaster, you want to know that this home will be sturdy and will keep your family safe from the natural disaster. But if you hire a company that is known for cutting corners, you know in the back of your mind that they are going to use cheap materials that actually will not make your house sturdy. So you don't want a company that cuts corners. You got it. Excellent. Again, cut corners. Now check out this example sentence. Don't cut corners when it comes to the safety of your employees. You got it? Check out the second example sentence. The company decided to cut corners to meet its production deadline. And finally, this example sentence. It's important not to cut corners during the research phase of a project. You got it? Again, to do something in a cheaper or quicker way, often sacrificing quality. You want to make sure you're not cutting corners. All right, let's move on to number 3, another very important idiom. This idiom is get down to business. Good. Again, after me. Get down to business. Great job. Now, we use this English idiom in the business environment when we are trying to say we want to focus or start focusing on the main topic or task at hand. Perfect example for you. Right now, I am actually in my office recording this English lesson for you. That's right, specifically for you. Now, I had to make sure the lighting was right, make sure my camera lens was clean, make sure all of the lighting behind me was set up perfectly, right? And then I had to get down to business. I had to hit record in order to make this lesson for you. Get down to business. Focus on the main topic or the task at hand. You got it? Excellent. All right. Check out these example sentences. Here we go. Let's get down to business and discuss the details of the contract. Now, I really want you to start using this English idiom because we use it so much. As native English speakers, this is a very commonly used English idiom. So if you want to sound more natural and to speak English with more confidence, you need to start using this idiom today. All right? Check out this other example sentence. After some small talk, the team finally got down to business in the meeting. They had a little bit of conversation, a little small talk, and then they got down to business. And next, what about this example sentence right here? We only have a limited amount of time, so let's get down to business. You got it. I love it. I love it. Now, we're going to move on to our next one, idiom number 4. But I do want to remind you, I am teaching you these idioms, but it's very important to practice what you learn. So I want you to remember to download the app, English with Tiffani. The link is right in the description. And when you download the app, you'll be able to practice what you are learning today. Go to Weekly English Lessons with Teacher Tiffani, and you'll see today's lesson, right? And you'll be able to practice to see if you really understand each of the idioms. So once again, the link is in the description if you're watching this video, or you can just, again, go and download the English with Tiffani app, and you'll find the lesson for today and be able to practice putting sentences together and so much more. All right, let's move on to number 4. That rhymed. I liked it. Here we go. Number 4, English idiom number 4. Hit the ground running. Hit the ground running. Now, this just means to start a new project or job energetically and without any delays. Hit the ground running. Now, for me, I'll use myself as an example. Again, I enjoy recording these lessons for you, and I've gotten so many messages from you all, and probably from you too, letting me know that you love the passion I have for helping you learn English. It's real. I really enjoy this. So, normally, once a month when I come to my office to record these lessons, I make sure everything is set, and I hit the ground running. I go right through recording the lessons, making sure everything is perfect for you without any delays. Every Sunday, putting a lesson up just for you. I hit the ground running. You got it? Excellent. Check out this example sentence. Here we go. The new employee hit the ground running and quickly adapted to the company's work environment, fell right in line and did what everyone else was doing. Next, we have this one. We need someone who can hit the ground running in this fast-paced industry. And finally, the team decided to hire an experienced consultant to hit the ground running on the project. We need to get started and move forward without delay. Again, hit the ground running. You got it? Listen, you are getting some gems from this lesson because these idioms are literally used by native English speakers. So are you ready to go to number 5? You can answer. Yeah, let's move on to number 5. Here we go. Number 5 is learn the ropes. Learn the ropes. Now, this is another important and very useful English idiom, especially in the business environment. It just refers to becoming familiar with the details and practical knowledge of a job or task. I remember my assistant started working with me over a year ago. Amazing young woman. And if she's watching this, thank you so much. I appreciate you. An amazing woman. Now, when she first joined my team, she didn't know anything. She was very skilled and very talented, but she had to learn the ropes. I had to teach her how to do certain things. I had to show her where certain files were. Why? Because she didn't know it before, so I had to teach her the main things she needed to know, all of the details and the practical knowledge. She had to learn the ropes. Now she's an expert. Now she's absolutely amazing. All right? You got it? Excellent. All right. Check out this example sentence. The intern will spend the first few weeks learning the ropes of the company's procedures. You got it? Next, here we go. It takes time to learn the ropes of managing a team effectively. And finally, we have this one right here. The new hire is still learning the ropes, so we need to provide guidance and support. You got it? So once again, learn the ropes. All right, let's move on to number 6. Again, you are getting so much knowledge, so much information during this lesson. Here we go. Number 6, call the shots. Good. Again, call the shots. Yes, you got it. Now, this just refers to being in a position of control or having the authority to make the decisions. So again, I'll bring it back to me, your teacher, because you know me well, right? So I'm running a business, the Speak English with Tiffani Academy, and this YouTube channel and the Instagram channel I have. I'm running these things and the app. So I call the shots, which means I have to make sure my team members have what they need. I have to make sure they know exactly what needs to be done on a daily basis. So again, calling the shots means the person in control who has the authority to delegate or let people know what they need to do. Now, my team members, they are awesome. They are amazing. So I just need to let them know what they need to do, and they all do it well. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. All right, here we go. Sentence number 1. As the project manager, she calls the shots on all major decisions. Next, we have this one. The CEO is the one who calls the shots in this company. Hey, he's the one in charge. She's the one in charge. He calls the shots. She calls the shots. The person in the position of authority. And finally, we have this one. The team leader has the final say and calls the shots during team meetings. Make sense? Excellent. So don't forget this one. Call the shots. All right. Let's look at number 7. Another very important English idiom. Cut to the chase. Again, cut to the chase. Now, this is once again another amazing and very useful English idiom, specifically in the business environment. It means to get to the point or get to the important part without wasting time. Now, you can use this English idiom in other situations, but we are specifically speaking about business right now, okay? So, get to the main point. What's the main part? So again, let's go back to that meeting environment. You're discussing this project that has a ballpark figure of $1 million. You remember that, right? From the beginning of the lesson. So you're sitting in this meeting and now you raise your hand and say, hey, so let's cut to the chase. What do we have to do to make sure this project is a success? Let's cut to the chase. Let's get to the main or more or most important point. You got it? Excellent. All right, check out these example sentences. Here we go. Let's skip the small talk and cut to the chase. What's the main issue we need to address? You got it? Excellent. All right. Sentence number 2. The presenter decided to cut to the chase and focus on the key findings of the research. Hey, let me just cut to the chase and get to the key findings of the research, the main points. And finally, number 3. The meeting was running behind schedule. So the manager asked everyone to cut to the chase. Hey, let's just focus on the main points because we don't have a lot of time. Let's cut to the chase. You make sense? Excellent. I really hope you are writing these down. And don't forget, again, you need to go to the app, English with Tiffani, so you can practice right after this lesson. Again, you can watch another English lesson or you can go directly to the app and start practicing. All right, let's move on to number 8. Number 8 is think outside the box. One more time. Think outside the box. Good. Now, this just means to think creatively, unconventionally, or beyond traditional boundaries. You're not thinking like everyone else. For example, you know that one thing I say all the time is, I don't teach grammar. I have never taught you grammar on this YouTube channel. And if you're listening to this from my podcast, you know I've never taught grammar. Now, grammar is important, but I've mentioned that for intermediate and advanced level learners, you have to study in a different way. That is thinking outside the box, because my students that study with me, oh, their grammar does improve, but I never teach them grammar. Intriguing, right? All right, so again, thinking outside the box, thinking creatively, unconventionally, or beyond traditional boundaries. Now, I have a story at the end, so don't miss story time about one of my previous coworkers at NASA, a man that thought outside the box. So let me give you some example sentences, and don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss that story. So first example sentence: to solve this problem, we need to think outside the box and consider unusual solutions. Next, the creative team is known for its ability to think outside the box and come up with innovative ideas. And finally, the company encourages employees to think outside the box and propose new strategies. You got it? Yes, think outside the box. Now, number 9, another amazing and very important English idiom. Keep someone in the loop. Again, keep someone in the loop. Good job. Now, this just means to inform someone and include them in the communication or decision-making process. All right? You have a meeting and there's one coworker that was unable to attend the meeting, but he tells you, hey, I'm not going to be at the meeting, but can you give me all the information after the meeting? Please keep me in the loop. Please let me know what's going on. Keep me in the loop. Make sense? Yes, one of my students, I taught him this idiom as well, and he started using it immediately. Okay, Tiff, please keep me in the loop. And I loved it. Why? Because he sounded like a native English speaker. This is how we as native English speakers speak. So if you start using these idioms, you'll start sounding like me, like your teacher. All right, here's the example sentence. All right, the first one. Please keep me in the loop about any updates or changes to the project timeline. Next, we have this one. As the team leader, it is important to keep everyone in the loop regarding important decisions. And finally, the manager kept the entire department in the loop about the upcoming changes. You got it? Yes, keep someone in the loop. Excellent. All right, now we have number 10, the final one and one of the most important ones. This one is stay on top of something. Stay on top of something. Good job. Now, this just means to stay informed and in control of a situation or task. You're staying on top of it. You have this big project you're working on, and you have many things to do in order to complete the project. But you're not going to miss the deadline. Why? Because you're staying on top of everything. You know which tasks need to be done today. You know which tasks need to be done tomorrow. You are staying on top of the project. Make sense? All right, excellent. Check out this example sentence. It's important to stay on top of industry trends to remain competitive. Next, we have this sentence. The project manager needs to stay on top of the project's progress and deadlines. You got it? Excellent. And finally, we have this one. I'm constantly checking my emails to ensure I stay on top of any urgent requests. You got it? Excellent. So once again, stay on top of something. Now, I really hope you enjoyed the lesson today. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you start using these idioms. My voice cracked. I hope you start using these idioms starting today. Remember, they'll help you to sound more like a native English speaker. I will talk to you in the next lesson, but as always, remember to speak English. Let's jump right in. English idiom number 1. Blood, sweat, and tears. I know you're probably looking at me crazy right now, but just follow along. Here we go. Again, after me, blood, sweat, and tears. Excellent. Now, this idiom, it literally just means dedication and hard work. Again, dedication and hard work. You, my friend, have been dedicated to your English journey. You, my friend, have put in the hard work to get to this point. The very fact that you are able to understand what I'm saying. I'm speaking in English. I'm not using any other language, and yet you are still able to understand. Why? Because you have been dedicated. You've put in the hard work. You have gotten to this point because of your blood, sweat, and tears. Oh yeah, you understand it now, right? Okay, check out these example sentences. Here we go. The first example sentence. It took blood, sweat, and tears for him to build his business from scratch. Sentence number 2. The athletes put in blood, sweat, and tears to win the championship. They worked hard, they were dedicated, and that's how they won the championship. And sentence number 3. She knew success would not come easy, so she was ready to give her blood, sweat, and tears. You got it? Excellent. Remember, this just means dedication and hard work. In English, the first idiom, blood, sweat, and tears. Now, don't forget to make sure you access the English with Tiffani app after this lesson to practice in the app how to use these idioms in real life, all right? There are tests and quizzes and practice lessons, so you don't want to miss it. English with Tiffani app, all right? So let's go to idiom number 2. Nose to the grindstone. Go ahead. Good. Again, after me. Nose to the grindstone. Excellent. All right. This just means working diligently and consistently. You see this common theme between the first idiom and the second idiom, right? Again, working diligently and consistently. Once again, my friend, your goal is to speak English fluently. And again, you and me, we are working together, right? You and I are working together to help you achieve that English goal this year. Working diligently and consistently. We have our noses to the grindstone. Oh yeah, you got it. I saw the look in your eye. You got it. Here we go. Sentence number 1. He keeps his nose to the grindstone and never misses a deadline. Yes, good. Sentence number 2. Success requires keeping your nose to the grindstone and being focused. In order for you, my friend, real quick, as an English learner, in order for you to experience success as you're on this English journey, you have to keep your nose to the grindstone. Be diligent, be focused. You can do it. And now, sentence number 3. If you want to achieve your goals, you must put your nose to the grindstone. Listen, this is why I said the idioms you are learning today in this lesson, you will be able to use starting now. They are applicable and they're literally idioms that will help you on your English journey. All right, so again, number 2, nose to the grindstone. Idiom number 3, work one's fingers to the bone. Again, after me, work one's fingers to the bone. Good job. All right. It just means, again, the common theme we've had with our idioms, it just means work extremely hard and tirelessly. I want you to think about your mother, or maybe you are a mother, right? Think about how a mother works tirelessly to make sure her children are fed well, to make sure her children are happy and clean and living a good life. Think about a father working hard as well to make sure his children are happy and taken care of. Parents work tirelessly to make sure their children are taken care of. Parents work their fingers to the bone in order to protect and care for their children. Yes, now it's making sense. Excellent. All right, here are some example sentences. Sentence number 1. The construction workers had to work their fingers to the bone to complete the project. Sentence number 2. She worked her fingers to the bone to save enough money for her dream vacation. And sentence number 3. The students worked their fingers to the bone to prepare for the challenging exam. You got it? Excellent. Again, in English, this idiom, very useful. It is work one's finger to the bone. Idiom number 4. Idiom number 4 is put in the hours. Excellent. Again, put in the hours. Great job. Now, this just means spend a significant amount of time and effort. Put in the hours. For example, you know I'm passionate about helping you achieve your English goals this year. So, actually, I'll be very honest. Right now, at the time I'm recording this lesson, it is 6:48 in the morning. I've been up working on these lessons since 5:30 this morning. I was up before that. I literally started working on the lessons at 5:30 this morning. Why? I want to put in the hours to help you achieve your English goals. What does this mean again? Spend a significant amount of time and effort. You're probably wondering, Tiff, why are you working so hard to do this for me? Listen, I love helping. I love when my students, those that have joined my academy, say, Tiff, my life has changed. When I see the confidence on their faces when they're speaking in English, man, it makes me want to get up earlier simply to help more English learners finally experience that confidence, finally speak English fluently, finally overcome the challenges they've been experiencing for years. Maybe you've been experiencing challenges for years as well. That is why I put in the hours. So I want you also put in the hours. You don't have to get up this early. I'm an early bird, so it's okay. But put in the hours to achieve your English goal. Here we go. Sentence number 1. To become an expert in your field, you need to put in the hours. Sentence number 2. If you want to succeed in this competition, you have to put in the hours of practice. And sentence number 3. He put in the hours studying for the exam and aced it. Make sense? Excellent. Once again, put in the hours. Idiom number 5 that you need to start using right now. Dig deep. Good again. Dig deep. Excellent. Now, remember, these 5 idioms I'm teaching you, they have a common theme: working hard, putting in the work, being diligent. Dig deep means put in extra effort and find the strength to keep going. Put in extra effort and find the strength to keep going. During story time, don't go anywhere, I'm going to tell you a story about when I had to dig deep. Put in the extra effort to keep going. Now, check out these example sentences for this idiom. Sentence number 1. The team had to dig deep to come up with a solution to the complex problem. Next, sentence number 2. She had to dig deep to find the motivation to finish writing her novel. Dig deep, put in the extra effort to keep going. And sentence number 3. Despite the setbacks, They dug deep and managed to achieve their goals. Make sense? Yes, again, dig deep. Now remember, these idioms are going to help you finally speak English fluently. This lesson was created to give you the tools you need to start sounding like a native English speaker. I'll talk to you in the next lesson. Let's jump right in. The very first English idiom is tie the knot. Good. Again, tie the knot. Excellent. Now, this idiom literally just means to get married. Yes, you heard me right. To get married. Now, I'm going to give you 3 example sentences, but before we do that, I want to make sure you're able to apply this idiom to your life. So we have tie the knot being our first idiom. So what I want you to do right now is think of 3 couples, that have tied the knot. 3 couples that got married. For example, I can think of my parents tied the knot many years ago. Think of another couple you know of that tied the knot. I have some friends who tied the knot, and also my sister and brother-in-law tied the knot. As you're learning English idioms, it's important, as soon as you understand the meaning, it's important for you to apply it to your real life. When you do this, you won't forget the idioms. So again, tie the knot. You have 3 couples you already said out loud, right? I hope you're also able to write them down. I'm writing them down, so I want you to also write them down so you'll remember them, all right? So here's the first example sentence using this idiom. They decided to tie the knot after dating for 5 years. In other words, they decided to get married after dating for 5 years. Makes sense, right? Excellent. All right, here's sentence number 2. We're tying the knot next month in a small ceremony. We're getting married next month in a small ceremony. You got it? Good job. All right. And sentence number 3. After tying the knot, they moved to a new city to start their lives together. You got it? Excellent. So idiom number 1, you can start using it right now. Remember, we already did. Idiom number 1, tie the knot. Excellent. All right. Now let's move on to idiom number 2 about relationships. After me. Bury the hatchet. Good. Again, bury the hatchet. Excellent. Now, what does this mean? Bury the hatchet just means to make peace or end a quarrel or argument. Again, to make peace or end a quarrel or argument. Let's say you have an issue with one of your friends, right? Maybe even somebody that you work with. There's a quarrel between the 2 of you. You've been arguing for a while. When you bury the hatchet, you stop quarreling. You stop arguing. You come back together being friends. So again, just like we did for the first idiom, the second idiom we have is bury the hatchet. So I want you to think about one specific person, either in your past or someone you need to bury the hatchet with, all right? Again, remember, focusing on the fact that it's someone you had a quarrel with, but the quarrel comes to an end. Who do you need to bury the hatchet with, or who have you already buried the hatchet with? I can think about a friend who I had to bury the hatchet with, so I'll just write maybe a fake initial, right? I had to bury the hatchet with a friend, right? We were arguing. We were not necessarily as close as we used to be, but after we buried the hatchet, we went back to being close friends. Again, bury the hatchet. Make sense? Excellent. All right. Check out these example sentences. And remember, make sure you wrote down your person's name. All right. Here we go. They decided to bury the hatchet and remain friends. They decided to stop arguing. They decided to kind of let things go and to be friends again. Next, sentence number 2. It's time for you two to bury the hatchet and work together. Make sense? Good. All right. And sentence number 3. After a long feud, they finally buried the hatchet. They finally stopped arguing. They finally came back together. Make sense? Excellent. So again, idiom number 2 is bury the hatchet. All right. Idiom number 3, another good idiom we have, on the rocks. Good. Again, on the rocks. Excellent. Now again, remember we're talking about idioms related to relationships. On the rocks just means in a state of difficulty or discord. A little bit rocky. You haven't gotten over the argument. You're still in the midst of it. You're not necessarily strong. You're not necessarily safe, right? On the rocks, in a state of difficulty or discord. So we have our third idiom, on the rocks. So what I want you to do is think about someone either you know personally or maybe even a TV show. This is better. Think about a TV show you've watched. And in the TV show, there was someone in the movie, not the movie, excuse me, in the storyline. You can pick a movie if you want. A movie or a TV show where a part of the storyline involved two characters being in a dispute and their relationship was on the rocks. They weren't doing well. Think about that character, the main character and that main character's partner. Write their names below the idiom, on the rocks. Think about two characters who had a relationship that, it was really on the rocks. One of my favorite movies is The Sound of Music. And the two main characters, the woman that was taking care of the children, and the man that owned the house, the father of the children, their relationship was on the rocks, right? So I'm going to put The Sound of Music, and I know I'm referring to the main characters. I'll put CAR. The main characters. Again, think of a movie or a show where the characters were going through a little bit of a difficulty. Their relationship was on the rocks. Make sense? Excellent. All right. Check out these example sentences. Here we go. Sentence number 1. Their marriage is on the rocks after the recent disagreements. Their marriage is on the rocks. Next, sentence number 2. The project is on the rocks due to a lack of funding. Notice this is not about an individual. In the definition, it says in a state of difficulty or discord. So this is used to speak about relationships, but you can also use it to speak about projects. And sentence number 3. Their friendship has been on the rocks since the argument. Their friendship has been unstable in a state of difficulty since the argument. You got it? Excellent. All right. So again, number 3, we have on the rocks. Idiom number 4. Idiom number 4 is see eye to eye. See eye to eye. Good. Now, this idiom just refers to agreeing or concurring. Agreeing. Being on the same page. Another good one. Thinking the same way. When you agree with someone, you see eye to eye. So I want you to think about now, we have idiom number 4, see eye to eye. I want you to think about two of your friends who you normally see eye to eye with. Normally you agree on things. So I'm going to say my friend Wilma, my best friend Wilma. We have the same viewpoint when it comes to religious things, right? Wilma is one of my friends. We see eye to eye. And let's say when it comes to business, I have another friend. We speak about business all the time. My friend Lawrence. He has his own business. So again, think of two friends you see eye to eye with on certain topics or subjects and write their names down. Why? Again, when you do this, it will make it easier for you to remember the idiom later on. All right? See eye to eye. Here's the first example sentence. They see eye to eye on most political issues. They agree. Next, sentence number 2. It's important for business partners to see eye to eye. And finally, sentence number 3. We rarely see eye to eye when it comes to decorating. We rarely agree when it comes to decorating. You got it? Excellent. All right, so again, number 4, see eye to eye. Now we're going to do idiom number 5, but I want to remind you, don't forget to download the English with Tiffani app, because after each lesson, you can practice what you're learning inside of my app. These idioms, seeing if you remember the meanings and how to use them properly. All right, go to English with Tiffani, the English with Tiffani app. All right, let's go to idiom number 5. A match made in heaven. Good. Again, a match made in heaven. Excellent. Now, again, we're talking about idioms related to relationships, right? So this refers to a perfectly suitable combination, a perfectly matched combination. We say a match made in heaven. So I want you now, again, our 5th idiom, a match made in heaven. I want you to think about your friends and think about the couples you know amongst your friends. Which couple, pick one couple, is a match made in heaven? They just really match each other well. My sister has some friends. Philip, I'll put PH. Philip, let's see. Let's do this because of space. Philip and M. Philip and M. These two, Philip and Mandisa, are a match made in heaven. They've been together for a long time. A match made in heaven. Think about a couple you know that are really, these individuals are really perfectly matched, perfectly suitable to each other. All right? Here's the first example sentence using this idiom. Their partnership is a match made in heaven. Next, sentence number 2. Peanut butter and jelly is a match made in heaven. Peanut butter goes very well with jelly. And finally, sentence number 3. They're a match made in heaven because they have so much in common. Again, they're a match made in heaven because they have so much in common. You got it? Excellent. All right. So again, we had 5 different English idioms today. And remember, when you think about situations, people in your life to match the idioms, you'll be able to remember them even better. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next one. Let's jump right in. Here's the very first English idiom I want to teach you today. The idiom is cut to the chase. Good. Again, after me. Cut to the chase. Excellent. Now, this idiom literally just means to get to the point without wasting time on unnecessary details. Again, to get to the point without wasting time on unnecessary details. Think about this lesson. I started off right at the beginning letting you know, hey, I'm going to teach you 5 English idioms, but I also want to give you 17 more that are very important, very popular. Here's the PDF. And then we went right into the lesson. I wanted to cut to the chase. You got it. Yes, getting to the main point. Here is the first example sentence using this idiom. Let's cut to the chase. What's your final offer for the contract? We're going back and forth. You're telling me many different things. Listen, let's get to the main point. Let's cut to the chase. What is your final offer for the contract? You got it? Yes. I remember, this is not even in my notes. I remember when I purchased my car, I walked into the dealership and the young lady was very nice. And I let her know, I said, listen, I just want to cut to the chase. What's the price? Tell me all the details. I don't like to haggle back and forth. I wanted to cut to the chase. And she was great. She cut to the chase and I bought a car. All right, here is sentence number 2. In our meetings, the CEO always cuts to the chase to save time. He or she is not about wasting time. No, let's cut to the chase. And finally, sentence number 3, as you're realizing how important this idiom is. I appreciate how you cut to the chase in your presentation, highlighting only the key points. You didn't give information that wasn't important. You only gave the key points. I like and appreciate how you cut to the chase in your presentation, highlighting only the key points. You got it? Excellent. All right. So again, the first idiom is cut to the chase. Here is idiom number 2. Idiom number 2 is throw someone under the bus. Again, throw someone under the bus. Now you're probably looking at me right now like, Tiff, why are we tossing people under vehicles? Let me explain. To throw someone under the bus literally just refers to betraying or blaming someone, especially to save yourself. Listen, I didn't do it, she did it. Nope, it was her. Or nope, I didn't do it, he did it. It was them. You're throwing them under the bus. Again, betraying or blaming someone, usually to save yourself. I didn't do it, that was them. That was over there. That was them. Throwing someone under the bus. You got it? I kind of like that. All right, here we go. Here is sentence number 1. Don't throw your colleagues, your coworkers under the bus just to make yourself look better. This is something, even though it's an example sentence, I want you to live by this principle. Don't throw your colleagues, your coworkers under the bus just to make yourself look better. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Okay. All right, here we go. Sentence number 2. She felt betrayed when her manager threw her under the bus during the project review. Her manager didn't protect her. Her manager didn't save her. Instead, her manager threw her under the bus, betrayed her or blamed her. You got it? And sentence number 3. It's unprofessional to throw your team under the bus when things go wrong. Once again, it's unprofessional to throw your team under the bus when things go wrong. This is a very important point. Take responsibility. Don't just blame other people. All right. So again, idiom number 2, throw someone under the bus. Now, idiom number 3. Idiom number 3. Bite off more than you can chew. Good. Once again, after me. Bite off more than you can chew. Excellent. Now, to bite off more than you can chew just refers to taking on more responsibility or work than you can actually handle. Hey, I'm able to handle this amount, but I took on this amount. A lot more than I can handle. Bite off more than you can chew. The easiest way to remember this idiom, I want you to think about a child. A child who loves ice cream. This child gets a bowl of ice cream, and while they could eat it slowly, instead they start to eat it very quickly, putting more in their mouth than they can handle. and all of a sudden their mouth starts to get bigger and things start to pour out of their mouth, and the mother says, listen, you know that you can't handle all of that. Take it one bite at a time. In this sense, biting off more than you can chew. The literal situation. We can use it again when you're taking on more responsibility or work than you can handle. You got it? Excellent. All right. Here is sentence number 1. Be careful not to bite off more than you can chew with this new project. Listen, it's a lot. It's a big one. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Sentence number 2. I think I've bitten off more than I can chew by agreeing to 3 deadlines this week. I think that's going to be a bit much. I think I've bitten off more than I can chew by agreeing to 3 deadlines this week. And sentence number 3. The new employee bit off more than he could chew and is now struggling to keep up. You got it? Excellent. All right. So once again, number 3, idiom number 3, bite off more than you can chew. Now, idiom number 4, put all your eggs in one basket. Again, put all your eggs in one basket. Good. Now, this idiom, put all your eggs in one basket, just refers to investing all of your resources or efforts into a single course of action. Hey, I'm going to do everything I can to make this right here work. I'm not going to worry about this or that. I'm putting all of my eggs in one basket. All of my efforts are going towards this one thing. In English, we say, put all your eggs in one basket. Check out this first example sentence. It's risky to put all your eggs in one basket by relying on a single supplier. What if that business goes out of business? What if that business fails? Then your business will also fail. It's very risky to put all your eggs in one basket by relying on a single supplier. You got it? Excellent. All right, here we go. Sentence number 2. Instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, you should diversify your skill set to stay competitive. Hey, don't just learn one skill, learn multiple skills to diversify your skill set and make yourself more marketable. Sentence number 3. The company put all its eggs in one basket with this product launch, and it paid off. Sometimes it pays off to put all your eggs in one basket. Once again, the company put all its eggs in one basket with this product launch, and it paid off. You got it? Excellent. All right. So again, number 4 is put all your eggs in one basket. Number 5. Idiom number 5, another good one. Back to square one. Good. Again, back to square one. Excellent. Now, this just means to return to the starting point after a failed attempt. All right? You're going back to where you started after you failed. Like, hey, I failed, but I'm going to start again. Back to square one. Here's an example sentence. The client rejected our proposal, so we're back to square one. He rejected our proposal. Now we have to go all the way back to the beginning. We're back to square one. Sentence number 2. After the software crash, we had to go back to square one and rebuild the entire database. Sentence number 3. If this marketing strategy doesn't work, we'll be back to square one. If it doesn't work, we have to go right back to the starting point. You got it? Excellent. So once again, back to square one. Now remember, I said at the beginning, don't forget to download your free copy of 17 of the most popular English idioms. This PDF is going to expand the lesson we just had and help you really understand English idioms. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Let's jump right in. All right, here's the very first idiom we're going to look at today. Under the weather. Under the weather. Now, this is an English idiom that we use all the time. So it's important for you as an English learner to understand the meaning and how to use it. So, under the weather just refers to feeling ill or sick or not at your best physically. You're kind of coughing, or maybe you're experiencing aches and pains in your body, or maybe your head is hurting. You can say, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I'm not completely well. I feel a bit sick. In English, we say under the weather. Now, here are some example sentences that will help you learn and understand how to use this term in real life. This idiom, here we go. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I'll work from home. I'm not feeling my best, so I'll just work from home today. Here's the second example sentence. She called in under the weather and couldn't make it to the meeting. She called in, hey, I'm under the weather, and could not make it to the meeting. And sentence number 3. The kids are both under the weather with a cold this week. Hey, my kids aren't feeling the best. They're a bit under the weather. They have a cold. Makes sense, right? You got it. Now, I want to give you 3 specific situations in which you can use this idiom. Here's the first situation. When calling in sick to work or school. We had 2 example sentences, and one of them dealt with work while the other dealt with school for the kids. This is a prime example. These 2 situations, again, one situation, but we're speaking about work and school. When you're not feeling well, you normally don't want to work. You normally want to stay in bed. You can say, I'm so sorry, boss. I'm not going to be able to come in today. Your boss might ask you why. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. Or maybe on the other side, your kids, they're coughing, they're sneezing. You call their teacher, hey, Miss Smith, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to be able to bring the kids to school today. Oh no, what happened? They're okay, but they're a little bit under the weather, so they'll be there tomorrow. You see how to use it, right? Yes. All right, so here's the next situation. The first one was kind of a double one for you. Situation number 2, explaining why you need to cancel social plans. Think about it. Your friends want to hang out with you. Maybe your coworkers want to hang out, but all of a sudden, you start feeling yourself not feeling the best. You're coughing, your head is hurting, and you need to let them know that you're not going to be able to hang out. Hey guys, I'm so sorry. You're leaving a voice message. I want to hang out tonight, but unfortunately, I'm feeling a bit under the weather, so I'm going to have to cancel. That's the second situation. Here's the third situation in which you can use this idiom. Describing mild illness symptoms to others. Notice it says mild symptoms. So I don't have the flu per se, but I feel like it's coming on. Again, body aches, a bit of a headache, a cough. When I want to explain to others my mild symptoms, like, hey guys, I don't know what's been going on. Man, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. And immediately people will understand, you're not at 100%. You're not completely sick just yet, but you're a bit under the weather. Make sense? Yes, excellent. All right, let's move on now to our second idiom. Our second idiom is hit the hay. hit the hay. And you're probably wondering, wait a minute, what in the world? Hit the hay. Don't worry. This idiom just refers to going to bed or going to sleep. Yep, going to bed or going to sleep. Now, I am your teacher, Teacher Tiffany. I love teaching you English. I am very passionate about teaching English. I am also an early bird. At the time of this recording, it literally is 5:45 a.m. Yes, very early in the morning. I am an early bird. I do my best work early in the morning. What does that mean? That means I have to hit the hay very early at night. You got it. I normally go to bed quite early, either 8:30, at the latest 9 p.m. Sometimes I'll stay up late to be on the phone, but I normally hit the hay early because I am an early bird and I like to get up early. You got it? Yes. All right. So it just means to go to sleep. I'm going to get some water real quick. It's early in the morning, so my voice, is still coming. Don't worry, we're going to get back to the lesson, but I wanted to ask you this. Have you ever felt lost in an English conversation because of idioms? You hear an idiom like, hit the nail on the head, and wonder, what does that mean? That's exactly why I created the English Idiom Bundle. This bundle gives you instant access to my top secret idiom files, packed with video lessons, PDFs, and practical exercises designed to help you understand, use, and finally master English idioms effortlessly. When you use idioms, your English sounds natural, engaging, and confident. Without them, conversations can feel awkward and confusing. My students love this system, and now it's your turn. So, my friend, you can get lifetime access to the English Idiom Bundle today by simply clicking the link in the description below this video. It's time for you to start speaking English like a native. Are you ready? All right, so let's check out the first example sentence. Here is sentence number 1. I'm exhausted. I think I'll hit the hay early tonight. I'm exhausted. I think I'll go to sleep early tonight. You got it? Yes. All right. Here is sentence number 2. We should hit the hay soon. We have an early flight tomorrow. Hey, we need to get up early tomorrow, so let's hit the hay early tonight. And sentence number 3. After the long meeting, all I wanted to do was hit the hay. Listen, I was so tired after that meeting. All I wanted to do was go to sleep. All I wanted to do was hit the hay. Whoa! Listen, I love water. For those not watching, I do love water. All right, so we have our 3 sentences. Now we have situations. When can you use this idiom? Situation number 1. When ending a social gathering or party. Imagine that you've invited your friends, your family members to come over, and now you're tired. You're a bit sleepy. You prepared everything. You hung out with your family and friends, but now, okay guys, I need to hit the hay. We're gonna have to wrap this party up. So when you're trying to end a social gathering, you can say, hey guys, I'm having so much fun, but now I need to hit the hay. Here's the second situation. Preparing for an early morning the next day. Like I mentioned to you, I knew that this morning I was going to get up early in order to record these videos. So I wanted to hit the hay early last night. I needed to go to bed early last night. You got it. And here's situation number 3. Expressing exhaustion after a long day. Listen, maybe you worked a 10-hour day. Maybe there was a huge project that needed to be completed, so you had to work overtime. At the end of that day, oh my, whew, all you wanted to do was, yes, hit the hay. Again, you wanted to get some rest because you were exhausted. So again, the idiom is hit the hay. Here's our third idiom. Spill the beans. Again, spill the beans. What in the world does this idiom mean? Spill the beans. It literally just means to reveal a secret or share private information. Again, to reveal a secret or share private information. Hey, I told you a secret and then you ended up telling somebody else. Why did you spill the beans? Or, hey, we're planning this big event, this big party. It's a surprise though, don't say anything. Oops, sorry, I spilled the beans. I revealed a secret or shared private information. Make sense? Yes, all right. So here are the example sentences. Sentence number 1. Come on, spill the beans about your last date night. Your date last night. Come on, let me know. I know you're trying to keep it private, but I got to know. Was he nice? Was he handsome? Tell me all about it. Spill the beans. Tell me your private information. Here's the second example sentence. Someone finally spilled the beans about the surprise party. And finally, sentence number 3. Don't spill the beans to your sister about her birthday gift. Don't tell her. Keep it a secret. Don't spill the beans. Yes, you got it. All right. So our we have to look first at our 3 situations. Here are the 3 situations for this idiom. I almost went to the 4th idiom, but I got to give you your 3 situations. Situation number 1. Don't or during gossip sessions with friends. I will say don't gossip, but during gossip sessions with friends, let's say it's lighthearted gossip. Your friends are all sitting together, and then all of a sudden one friend says, so I heard that someone is dating a new guy. Spill the beans, girl. So you're speaking about things going on in your lives. You're talking about things going on at home or at school. All of a sudden, wait a minute. Did you hear that Sarah and Brian are dating? Girl, spill the beans when you're speaking with your friends. Here's the second situation. When trying to get information from someone, someone has a secret or someone has some private information and you want to know that information. I'm not encouraging this. I'm a very understanding person and I let people have their own privacy. So if it's private information, I won't push. But again, in the situation where you actually want to know, you can say, listen, girl, spill the beans. Come on, tell me what's going on. When you want to know information from someone. And situation number 3, warning someone to keep a secret. Listen, please don't spill the beans. I'm telling you this and I'm trusting you. I'm trusting that you won't spill the beans. I'm trusting that you won't tell anyone. In this situation, you can say spill the beans. You got it? Yes, excellent. All right, now we are going to proceed to our 4th idiom. The 4th idiom is butterflies in my stomach. Again, butterflies in my stomach. What does this idiom mean? Butterflies in my stomach, butterflies in her stomach, butterflies in his stomach. It literally just refers to feeling nervous or anxious about something. Think about it. Imagine that you have to give a speech in front of 1,000 people. Immediately, your body starts reacting. You start feeling a bit nervous. You start wondering, oh no, am I going to be able to present in front of them? Am I going to be able to speak clearly? Are they going to like what I have to say? You start getting butterflies in your stomach. That weird feeling when you're nervous in your stomach, right? Kind of like bubbling. Butterflies in your stomach. So check out this first example sentence. Sentence number 1. I have butterflies in my stomach before every presentation. I'm just so nervous. I'm not sure if my boss will like my presentation or if my coworkers will understand what I'm presenting. So I usually get butterflies in my stomach before every presentation. Sentence number 2. The job interview is tomorrow and I already have butterflies in my stomach. I'm already feeling nervous. You got it. Sentence number 3. First-time performers often get butterflies in their stomachs before going on stage. It's their first time, they're nervous, they're not sure how people are going to receive them, so they usually get butterflies in their stomachs. Now, I want to give you 3 specific situations in which you can use this idiom. Situation number 1, before public speaking or performances, like the example sentences. So anytime you have to go in front of people, or anytime there's a performance, you could think of this idiom. The individual is performing, or the individual giving the speech probably feels nervous. They probably feel nervous. They probably have butterflies in their, stomachs. Excellent. Here's the second situation. When meeting someone important, I want you to imagine that the president or the prime minister or the king of your country, whichever country you live in, suddenly gives you a call and says, "Hello, I would like to meet you tomorrow at 9 a.m. You hang up the phone, and do you feel elated, or do you all of a sudden feel, oh my gosh, what just happened? I have to meet him tomorrow. I have to meet her. What am I? You suddenly feel nervous. Butterflies in your stomach. So when you have to meet someone important. Situation number 3. Prior to significant life events or changes, graduating from university, getting a new job, having a baby, getting married, moving to another state, another country. These are big life events, and normally they can make a person feel just a bit nervous. Having butterflies in their stomachs. Makes sense, right? Yes. All right. So here is idiom number 5. Bite off more than you can chew. Again, bite off more than you can chew. Now, this has nothing to do with food. This idiom, bite off more than you can chew, is actually speaking about taking on more responsibilities or tasks than you can handle. Again, you're taking on more responsibilities or tasks than you can handle. Hey, you only have 8 hours a day to work, for example. Don't take on 50 different tasks. You're biting off more than you can chew. Just do the task that you are able to do in that 8-hour period. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Make sense? Yes, you're so smart. Here we go. All right, let's check out these example sentences. Sentence number 1. I think I've bitten off more than I can chew between work, school, and volunteering. I think I have too many responsibilities. I bit off more than I can chew. Sentence number 2. Don't bite off more than you can chew by signing up for too many classes. Sign up for 1, make sure you can handle it. Don't sign up for 6 classes. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Excellent. And sentence number 3 before we get to our situations. She bit off more than she could chew when she agreed to organize 3 events in 1 week. She bit off more than she could chew. You got it, right? All right, now there are 3 other situations in which you can use this idiom. Situation number 1, when taking on multiple projects simultaneously, just like the last example sentence. She wanted to organize 3 events in 1 week. Hey, you've taken on too many projects at the same time. When this happens, you can say, don't bite off more than you can chew. Here's the second situation in which you can use this idiom. Making commitments during busy periods. Listen, you know next week is going to be your busiest week. You have lots of meetings, lots of project deadlines. Don't schedule anything else. If you do, you'll be biting off more than you can chew. Yes, and situation number 3. Advising someone about managing their workload. Hey, listen, you're an amazing worker. You are an excellent coworker. I do want to say, though, that I think you're taking on more tasks than you need to. You're doing a bit too much. I think you've bitten off more than you can chew. You see how useful this idiom is, how it can help you describe, in your opinion, when a person is doing too much, and you just say it in one phrase, one idiom. Hey, I think you've bitten off more than you can chew. Makes sense? Excellent. All right. So I hope this lesson helped you, and I want you to start using these idioms today. You won't sound like a textbook. You'll sound like a native English speaker. I will talk to you in the next lesson. Just, you still there? You know what time it is. Story time. Hey. I said it's story time. All right. I want to tell you this story. It happened when I was in South Korea, and some of you might know this story, but I love this story because it's an example of friends being good friends and not spilling the beans. So, just to give you a little insight into who I am. You know me as your teacher, as your English teacher. I'm passionate about helping you speak English. I'm also passionate about making my family and friends feel special. So, when I was in South Korea, there was a big group of us. A lot of us were together, and we all came together. We came at the same time from different countries. So our group included about 40 or 45 people. And so we naturally became good friends. All of us would hang out a lot. So we had a large group of missionary English teachers when I was in South Korea, and we hung out a lot. So we got very close. Now, again, I said I'm the type of friend who enjoys making people feel special. So whenever someone had a birthday, whenever we would go to church, and after church, people would be hungry, I would always, and my roommate, we would invite them over to our place, or we'd organize a meal at someone else's house. Why? We wanted everyone to feel like, hey, you're not by yourself. We can come together and eat together. I love making people feel special. So for birthdays, we would always organize something big for people's birthdays. And again, I am an organizer. I love organizing. So I would be a part of the planning crew, and many times I would start the plans, right? Even when we went on vacation together as a group, I was the one organizing many of the trip details. So again, that's just my personality. I love to organize, and I love to make people feel happy. Remember, I said this is a story about good friends and good friends who don't spill the beans. So you have in mind now who I am as a person. I'm the friend. My love language is giving. So I like to give. I give my time to help you, right? So anyways, so our friends, we all got together because one of our friends was actually going to be going back home. I think she was from London. So we wanted to give her a going away party, right? So there were about, honestly, 30 to 40 of us. We were all going to come together and give her a surprise going away party. So I was a part of the planning crew. I was like, listen, guys, yes, let's do this, this, and this. We can make sure she won't know. So we had everything planned, the food, the invitations. I was excited. Everyone was excited. So the night of the event, the party came. And the plan was we were going to meet at one of our other friends' apartments. We were all going to be there and then shout surprise when this friend came in. Now, the event was going to be in the apartment complex behind my apartment complex. So I was at home at my apartment changing my clothes. My roommate was there, and then one of our other close friends. So the three of us were in my bedroom. I was getting ready, and I noticed that they were acting a little weird. And I was like, guys, we have to go. Another thing about me, I am very punctual. I don't like to be late. So everyone was supposed to be at the apartment, let's say at 7 o'clock. And the girl who the party was for was going to be there at 7:30. I was like, hey guys, it's 6:45. We got to, kind of wrap things up, because they were kind of lounging around. I was like, hey guys, we got to get ready. Let's go. I was excited. But they were real chill. And I was like, it wasn't like them because they also, I'm still friends with them today. They're very punctual. So I was like, what is going on? But they were acting a little weird. and they were kind of just lounging around, and I was like, what is going on? And they kept asking me questions that weren't important, like, Tiff, what are you teaching your students on Monday? I was like, I don't know. Let's go to this party. Anyway, so we eventually get up, and they kept looking at their phones. Again, I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was just focused on making sure our friend that was going to be leaving was going to enjoy her party. So anyways, we eventually walk out of my apartment together, and we walk towards the other apartment where the event was going to occur. Again, they're kind of still acting weird, and I was like, I don't know, maybe something happened, and they're discussing something. So we're walking up the steps. Our friend whose apartment is going to be at, she lived on the 3rd floor. So we get to the 3rd floor, and I'm in the front, and they're behind me. And they kind of, did they switch? No, they said, Tiff, you can go ahead and knock on the door and open. And I was like, okay. Again, it seemed weird. I was like, why are they acting so weird? Like, we got to hurry up. She's going to be here. So I knocked on the door, and then someone on the other side said, it's open. And I was like, okay. So I opened the door, and there are a lot of people in there. And all of a sudden they say, surprise! And I was like, be quiet. I was like, guys, I'm not her. She's not here yet. We gotta be quiet. And everyone was looking at me like, Tiff, surprise! And I was like, no, she's not here. And I turned to look behind me at my other 2 friends, and they had big smiles on their faces. And I was like, why are you guys I was like, oh my gosh. This entire time, I thought we were planning a party for the other girl. They had all been planning my 27th birthday party. They were acting weird because, again, I'm a planner, so I'm used to knowing what's going on. And they were like, how do we hide this information when she asks all these questions? So I went and I was like, you guys are good. Everyone screamed. What they did was they told me the party was for the other girl, and they told the other girl the party was for me. So she was going away. So it was a party for both of us. It was the best surprise ever. I have never been surprised like that in my life. And I told everyone there, I said, you guys did a great job. I mean, it was a full weekend. Like we went out to eat. We went on a dinner cruise. Then everyone came back to my apartment, all the females, and we spent the night, watched movies. It was a weekend I will never forget. My 2 friends, great friends, didn't spill the beans, and I had one of the best birthday celebrations I've ever had in my life. So remember to make your friends feel special. They won't forget it. I'll talk to you in the next lesson.